Cool. So I think I should be live now. Uh, I'm not streaming this with any particular anticipation that anyone's really watching. It's a good way of stopping myself from getting distracted and spending an hour watching tutorials on stuff for Unreal Engine that are not relevant to what I'm doing. Um, and also, I'm just kind of practicing getting better at talking while working in Unreal, which I need for this course that I'm working on at the moment for Final Pixel Academy. Then should be a link in the description to sign up for info about that. But it's Unreal Engine for DOPs, and yeah, kind of useful. Uh, it's just useful to get used to talking while using a computer, really, which I'm not really used to. Right, I'm trying to find a couple of things here in OBS, which I don't really know how OBS works. Okay. Why does it ever say that to me? Let's have a look. Okay. Uh, I was trying to change the bitrate. I don't know if that's done anything. I don't think it makes any difference, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm just going to crack on. So, uh, last couple of days ago, I streamed a bit of stuff, and we basically got to this point. So, this was um, this was recreating a shot from Batman. Let's grab the shot. Shot deck does not like to keep me logged in. I don't know why that is. It's literally the only thing I ever use Microsoft Edge for, basically. Right. So let's find the shot that we're looking at. And it's kind of like, it's more, we're not trying to like exactly replicate the shot. I'm trying to get close with composition and stuff, but it's kind of about figuring out what are the constituent elements of the shot and how can we create those in Unreal Engine. I think that's a useful process for when you're creating stuff in Unreal Engine for previs and uh, for virtual production, for storyboards, that sort of thing. Like, what are the like important elements that you need to have in the shot that you're creating? So if we have a look, I think if I squish this all the way down, I'll be able to kind of overlay it. Yeah, that's good. So yeah, something like that. Oh, yeah. So if we do that, yeah. Okay. And I can pilot this camera, which we set up last time. So that's kind of pretty close. I think it's hard to say exactly. I think we're on the right lens. It's a 75mm anamorphic. It just feels, yeah, the compression and stuff kind of just feels about right now, I think. So I think I'm going to stick with that. What I am going to do is, I think both of these guys want to move across a little bit. And then I think this can move across a touch. And then this can definitely come across. Maybe I'm just kind of nitpicking at these. I don't know. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to put this bit of foreground in here. I think this is like a searchlight, but I know there's an asset on in Quixel Bridge that's just like a kind of like tarp covered kind of thing. I can't remember which pack it's from. But I think I'm just going to use that because it's sort of the right shape and I think it will just create the right kind of vibe. So yeah, like tarped crate. So I think maybe this one. Or let's just have another look for like stuff that's a bit cratey. Yeah. It's like one of those things I just don't want to spend ages. I don't want to spend ages and ages finding like the absolute perfect one. I'd rather find one that's just kind of like close. And then move on and do other stuff. We're not VAD artists. Like, well, I'm not a VAD artist. I'm a DP. So it's, you know, trying to just find something that's like close. Let's find, what about like Spotlight? You never know. We could find something and then kind of scale it up. Let's just have a quick look at the industrial section, maybe. See what's in here. I've used Quixel Bridge assets a few times, but like not tons. So kind of always finding new stuff. That's quite cool. I might just grab that. I said I wasn't going to spend ages on this. I'm going to end up spending ages on this. Didn't feel it. Oh. My mouse is always a pain in the ass because I use Synergy, which is I basically have just over there. Where am I? Just over there is a MacBook Pro, and then I have a PC over there, which is what I'm currently working on. But the mouse is actually the mouse and keyboard for the MacBook Pro, and then Synergy like lets you just move from one screen to the other. I'm very unconvinced that it's an efficient way of doing things, but it's the way I do things. Right. And there's a lot of stuff. Actually, like I do use Quixel Bridge quite a bit, but every time I feel like there's a lot of new assets, or maybe because you're kind of looking through a different lens, you spot different things. There's some really, really nice assets in Quixel now. And it's free, which is like just amazing. And they're super high quality. I mean, I'm not grabbing like this is the problem with Synergy. Sometimes like everything goes a bit nuts. I'm not grabbing nanite quality, like highest quality assets, because it would slow down my system too much. I don't need, and also the big files, I just don't need that. So medium quality for this sort of stuff is fine. But if you were doing like final render type stuff, or maybe even if you're doing like pitch viz, I would like maybe grab the highest quality stuff. I sort of feel like with pitch viz, there's like a little bit of an argument that you don't want to try. It's kind of the uncanny valley. I'm not sure if you really want to try and like make it really photorealistic, because I think if it sits in that space where it's like almost totally photorealistic but not quite, I think that's maybe worse than doing something that's like clearly sort of a concept render. So it's maybe better to make it a little bit stylized. I almost want to, I might actually play around with that, kind of like creating something in Unreal and then running it through like Midjourney or something to give it some even more stylization. That might be kind of fun. I think I'll probably try that sometime. So let's add some of these. Again, the way I've got these tabs set up is probably not the most efficient, the way that pings back and forward, but never mind. Okay, so what makes sense here? Let's throw this gas tank in. Just like scale it up to something crazy, and then just see what happens if we kind of like put it inside this tarp thing. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete that. Man. I wish I was better at working in 3D space. Um, okay, how's that look? I mean, that's like, I think that's probably fine. I think that's probably fine. So, what I'm feeling right now is that the sun definitely needs to be below the horizon because that all that hard light is not present in the reference. So I'm going to move the sun below the horizon all the way. Oh, shit. I do kind of like that sun direction, so let's go and find the sun object. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a case of basically having less the sun down, which is going to mean we've got less light, but then we'll kind of maybe end up sort of boosting our exposure so that even though there's no hard light, that soft light feels brighter, if you know what I mean. It's kind of balancing it out. I'd do the same thing if we were shooting and the sun went down, and then you're like either putting in lights to make up for that, or you're sort of all your ratios start to change, so you have to kind of balance out to those new ratios. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. Ooh, okay. Oh shit. Uh, why does that happen then? Okay, so it won't go below the horizon. Is that what's happening? Okay, so if I go, so is that because of the time of day? Okay, so that's kind of like better, but now I think I need to push. Maybe not. Let's have a look. Okay, so we've got like too much purpliness, but we can probably, I think we'll be able to get rid of that and actually. Where is the sun in this though? It's like the sun is. It's kind of hitting these clouds back here, but like not the foreground ones. So it's like just gone over the horizon. I don't know if I can do that with ultradynamic sky. Like I'm quite new to it, so why have we got multiple directional lights? Multiple directional lights are competing. Okay. Is that because there's a sun and a moon? Okay, the sun and the moon are up. Okay, that doesn't worry me. That I think that's because probably there's a moon somewhere as well as the sun, because just because of the time of day we're at. So let's just. Oh man, this is going to be really tricky. I think this is going to be one of those things where it's like a bit of a limitation of where the software. I don't think we're going to be able to get it to kind of act in that physical way where the foreground. I mean, that's kind of happening because like it feels like this hard light on this cloud here. It's just not getting edge lit in the way that I'd like. And the same with these clouds up here. But I wonder if I spin the world, that might help. Also, I don't know how to stop these clouds moving. I wish I did. Um, okay, let's have a look. Animate time of day. Oh, cloud movement. Okay, so we could just set that to 0. Okay. Okay, great. So I can just put in numbers there until we get clouds we like. That is cool. I like that. I don't like these clouds. What have we got? Okay. Tricky. Ah, okay, so that's kind of maybe closer and we can play around with that. Now we want to grab the sun. Okay. Manually position sun target. Okay. So I can move that around and then it feels like we're kind of just feels like it's just to the left of frame, doesn't it? So let's have a look at that. Stay in there. Let's just go and have a look. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of right there because of the way it's hitting these clouds. But they've got, yeah. I mean, allegedly this is like Unreal. I don't know if this is plates or I think this is actually Unreal Engine. So I think they could move buildings around, but I'm guessing it might have been that might be like a HDRI, like an image in the sky, I reckon, rather than being generated. I don't know. It's hard to say. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm okay with that. I want to see if there's some color controls over that. So let's have a look. Sun disk color curve. Oh, that's cool. Gosh, you got so much control. Honestly, it's amazing. Really impressed with this Ultra Dynamic Sky. How much control you've got. That's really cool. Okay. So we must have. Skylight color multiplier. Oof. There's a lot of options here. So oh wow, interesting. Okay, okay. That's coming back up. Interesting. Apply exposure settings. Okay, so there's some kind of like auto exposure going on, I think, which isn't necessarily what I want. So in that case, I think let's go back there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the overall intensity. Yeah, because I've got more control that way, and also we're getting much less of that weird color cast now, so that's much better. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, that's a lot. Huh. Okay, interesting. If anyone is currently watching and knows anything about Ultra Dynamic Sky, I would love to hear it. Although I have to say at the moment I don't totally know how to view chat. I'm not really a common. I've never done this live streaming before. Before like this week. Feel like I should be able to figure this out. Ah, there we go. Chat. Hey, chat. Cool. Yeah, say hi if you're watching. And if you have a better understanding of ultradynamic sky than me, that would be cool. Yeah. So I've actually made everything much worse now in terms of how this looks. But oh, that's interesting. But we're figuring it out. It's an exploration. Okay. Directional balance. That's doing something. Feel like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So, hmm. I don't know whether to set this back to default. Sort of think maybe I should. Which is sometimes the best way to do things. Cool. Yeah, I don't know whether people watching are people I know or people who are randomly coming across this. If I know you, if you're somebody I know, please do send me a message in the chat or just text me or something. I've got WhatsApp open on the other screen, so if if you're a friend, drop me a message. I was at BSC show recently, and there was like I got into conversation with like four people who all knew of my Lomo lens test video from like I don't know, like 7 or 8 years ago, which is quite funny. Um, right, I think I'm gonna delete this UDS and start again because I played around with so many settings that I'm not quite sure where the starting point was. So I'm gonna start again. So that's fine. Chuck that in. I'm gonna zero out its position just so it's not in the way. Actually, send it up. Oh, that's maybe too far. Cool. So, we'll go time of day around about sunset. And then what we can actually do, what I'll do this time is we can use like our sort of position in the world and orientation so that as if we were like this was a real location in the world and we were actually like trying to match to it. So I thought North York would do that, but it hasn't, which is frustrating. We should take x plus is take around the angle. Yeah, so that should work. So why is the sun not moving? Interesting. Simulate real sun. That's why. Okay, cool. So uh, let's go to our real moon, real stars. Okay, interesting. Cool. That's really cool. So we get that multiple directional lights thing because there's a sun and a moon, but I think it's fine. We don't need to worry about it. I don't think that's particularly something we need to worry about anyway. So let's true real world time. Apply daylight savings time. That's cool. Lat long time zone year. Wow, kind of everything. That's really cool. So that's the moon, which is not what we want. So what I want is the sun. Am I being really stupid, or can I not find the time? Time zone. Okay, so I just change the time zone. Okay, sure. Okay, I guess so. Okay, so sun is somewhere over there. Let's drop it down. Oh man, that's a little tricky. Okay, so that's actually, in some ways, that's quite a bit closer than where we were before we deleted it and started again. So that's good. I'm just going to bring that. Where is that? Ah, okay, it's there. Okay, yeah, cool. So let's just drop that. Where's that? There's some setting that was like the clouds will shadow the volumetric. That dim directional lights with cloud coverage. Because what I'm thinking is basically we might be able to set it up so that we're getting that edge light on the clouds. I don't know whether this is even worth worrying about. Maybe I should just move on and not worry so much about getting this perfect. Probably should do that. Probably won't do that. Okay. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to set that North Yaw thing to spin it around a little bit more. Because I kind of want it just out there. That's cool. And then we're just going to change the time of day a tiny bit until we lose the hard light there. It's so hard to get that to play ball. Minus 55. No, that's the wrong way. Minus 40. That's kind of gone too far. 47. Oh. 0.47. Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's okay. That's okay. So let's go and grab cloud coverage because I think we've got a bit too much clouds right now. Oh, actually, maybe we don't. Maybe, no, let's not do that. We did that last time and it wasn't great. Let's go to the cloud settings. Yeah. And then we kind of ramp that up. So let's go, yeah, something like that. Ah, that's good. What's that base cloud? I like that. That's cool. So, okay. That is sort of getting us into a better world, isn't it? Okay, that's cool. So where's that was that base cloud scale? So I'm gonna go, let's go like 10. So we've got big clouds, and then we can actually just add a bit more clouds. That's frustrating. Doesn't quite work. So, okay, let's go and have another look at some other bits. I want to stop the clouds from moving. And then we can come through this cloud phase and find some clouds that we like. I mean, oh man, it's kind of frustrating. Okay, let's take cloud coverage down. Ah, okay. Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. This is starting to feel much closer to the reference. That's really cool. Okay, so what I want to try and do now is get rid of this purpliness, and I'm not totally sure where it's coming from. That's the issue. Ah, it's a little frustrating. Yeah, what I really want to do is dynamic tinted skylight. Okay, that's interesting. So can I add a load of blue into that? Does that do anything? No. I'm not going to search those exposure things because that really fucked everything up before. Fog in scattering sun. Huh. Okay. If I turn down the blue. No. Fog directional in scattering. I just don't really know where that's coming from. Okay. Sun's. Ah, here we go. Here we go. I think we found it. I think we found it. Yeah. Cool. Okay, great. So that's really helpful. So now we can go to a much more like, I don't know, it's like there's orange in there, but there's like a lot of pale blue as well. So let's go, what if we went to kind of there? Yeah, this is going to be cool. Okay, this is getting us much closer. So we want peachiness in the orange. Okay. Feel like right now, what I'm most interested in is like the actual, like the sky up here. Getting that close, and then I think we might be able to like deal with the getting some of this warmth back on the horizon later. Also, yeah, kind of once we get the clouds not so purple, I think actually it's going to work. So let's just find as about as blue as we can get on there. That's going very green as soon as we go around there. Let's try that for now, and I might just make that a bit darker actually as well. Oh no, that's not good. There's some sort of screen going on there, I think. Okay. Sunset, sunrise, color. Ah, okay, absorption scale. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Huh. Okay. Hmm. Interesting. It's definitely a bit more green, isn't it? But it's not. It suddenly kind of drops off into green when I do that. But yeah, okay. Let's run with that. That's all right. That's cool. It's a good way to. It's kind of why I'm doing this is like it's a good way to just learn different stuff. So I'm learning a lot about ultradynamic sky, and I'm learning a lot about Raleigh and scattering and all kinds of things in Unreal Engine, just through like looking at something from like the real world, but it's not. It's like an artistic piece of work in terms of the original reference that we're trying to match to, and then figuring out like what's it made of. I just think that's a good way of kind of figuring stuff out, you know. Um, okay. Wonder if that is anything to do with this. No, I don't think so. Okay, so I don't think we're using simplified color. I think there's like a. I'm sure I saw a. I'm sure I saw a setting somewhere that we like weren't using simplified color. So I think, yeah, I think this is what this is doing. Oh wow, that's okay, interesting. So why is that? Why does desaturating that make that go more blue? That's very interesting. It's not what I was expecting. Just feels like that's like a saturation thing, not anything else. Okay. Kind of getting close there, you know. It's just none of these values, none of these changes are doing like what you expect them to do, which is kind of weird. What I really want to do is just darken the sky down. So, bet there's a setting for that. Quite that. It's not that either. Okay, so that's interesting. That's yeah, it's not quite it either, actually. What the is that setting? Interesting. Okay. See if we've got any more just like pure sky settings. Okay. So that's cool to know that that does that. I don't think I want to change it in this case. Because yeah. All I want to do right now is I want to get the I want to get this, the actual bits where we're seeing sky darker, basically. Now, potentially that's possibly color. That might be a color grading thing. I mean, we're kind of close now in a lot of ways, but I just would love to like get that down by about a stop, maybe half a stop. And I feel like that must be possible somewhere, but I don't know which setting it is. Basically. Maybe night brightness. Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay. It's pretty close. I'm gonna call that good. I'm gonna call that good. We're gonna move on to do something else. Okay. So the other day when we were playing with this, we did a bit of a floor texture. I'm just wondering whether the next thing to do. No, do you know what? Let's replace these columns next. So I think in Bridge there is some like steel beams or iron beams. Let's have a look. Yeah, wicked. So rusty iron beam sounds good. Let's grab all of these because they'll probably be useful. Good to have a bit of variety. Yes, that's cool. No, we need that, but it's good to know that's there. Modular metal kind of beams and connections and stuff. That's good. That's interesting. Good to know that's there. So what have we got? Iron beam. Oh man, I should really move where Bridge is in my interface, but I'm not gonna. 1, 2. Did I get that one? Got 3 rusty iron beams. How many does I download? 1, 2, 3, 4. See, I think I missed that one. Cool. Let's have a look. I'm going to start off with this kind of short, chunky one. Let's turn snapping on. Okay. Okay. I'm going to come out of the camera so we can actually put it in the right place. Yeah, because it's miles off. Yeah. Okay. So let's have a look. Now we go back in the camera. Have a look versus the reference. Okay, so let's see if we rotate it. Yeah, so what's the thinnest point? Something like that. Yeah, and then we even want to go a bit smaller than that. Cool. That's cool. It's interesting that that is, I think that's further away actually, isn't it? Because I'm surprised by how out of focus that is. I think these lenses are just like incredibly crazy at the edges. Oh no, I've lost my frame. Oh man, I hate when that happens. Oh yeah, and that's not the whole damn frame. Oh, what is going on? What is going on? Proper messed that up, and I right. Where's the actual edge of the frame? It's there and there. Okay. Basically trying to line this up so that so that it was like an overlay and you could click back and forth. But what it's done is flipping. There you go. So that should be an overlay now. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and we're pretty close. We're pretty close. I think we want to be. I think this actually wants to come towards us. Then we probably scale it down. Yeah. And then, oh, come on. Okay, I am going to go into the Cine Camera Actor. I'm going to go to transform and I'm going to lock active movement so that stops happening. It's very annoying. Okay, cool. So I'm going to push that. That's weird. Why is that? It's really weird. Oh, was that doing something on the vertical? Okay, maybe that was doing something on the vertical. Okay. Great. That's pretty close, huh? That's good. It's good. Okay, so this one looks like, I reckon that's pretty similar. I think we can just duplicate this one. And then it's going to be a bit closer. I'm going to come out of the camera again. So much time is spent in Unreal just like trying to get in a position where you can use the gizmos. Well, I do anyway. It's because I'm shit. Basically. Right, let's delete that column. Let's jump back into the camera. I know I could be doing this with like the viewfinder up and that way, but I just find that incredibly difficult to have enough space to actually do anything really. Okay, so let's try. Love to try and get this orientated so we see a little bit of that edge light on it, but I'm not sure it's going to happen with this item, with with this object we're using. Okay, for now I'm just gonna drag that across and replace it in here. Really weird to figure out where that is in relation to the thing. Okay, let's kind of slim that down. Cool. It's also just weird to me how like totally jet black that is. Like I don't really understand. I feel like I don't know. I just feel like that should have a bit of light or something, no? I don't know why it's like kind of absorbing everything. It's just not. I don't know. It's weird. Right, where do we think that is in relation to them? So it is kind of a little bit in front of them, but it's not as far in front of them as this is at the moment. So I think this wants to slide back. Come in that way, and then we'll just change the height of it. Maybe I will use the directed viewfinder a little bit. Okay. Okay. Cool. So, not horrendous. Shall we go and find Batman? I think we should go find Batman. Let's go find a Batman. Ooh. See if we can find a good Batman. I feel like possibly not. Sketchfab is down? No. Okay. Why can't I type today? How about I go? Maybe I should have a look in the Epic marketplace. I don't think. Feel like there might be like reasons why there's no IP characters in marketplace, but I could be wrong. What is why is M not typing on my keyboard today? What is going on? So weird. Okay, yeah, so there's wow, that's cool. That's some cool characters. That's really cool. Because basically what I want, oh I know what we should go, is go and have a look on Mixamo. Yeah, let's go and have a look on Mixamo. Because I kind of want a rigged character, really. Still need to log in. Rigged would be good because then we can just use control rig to pose him, which would be cool. Or we can try and find a animation kind of pose in Mixamo that is similar to what we want, and then we don't have to worry about control rig. I'm very slow and crap at doing stuff in control rig with IK, so you know, anything we can do so I don't have to do that is good. God. Okay. So, oh, sorry, wrong screen. Hey. Have we got somebody in here who kind of looks like Batman? I've tried typing in Batman and nothing comes up. So it's just going to be a case of trying to figure out. I'd love some ears because the silhouette's really cool. But I think that might be asking too much. to be honest. There's some cool characters on Mixed Mode. Given that this is all like free and stuff, it's pretty cool. Used this guy, I think, was Jon Snow when I did a Game of Thrones shot build a few weeks ago. See, the thing is, I'm kind of tempted to just do it with Manny that we've got in there at the moment, but I don't know. It feels lazy. There's also not really anything here that looks like Catwoman either. I don't think. I mean, either it would be this guy or I guess that could be Catwoman, couldn't it? In terms of just being in a kind of catsuit vibe. Let's have a look at that. I forget how it comes in. That's weird. Why has that not worked? Come on, load for me, please. I don't know what's going on there. Right, let's just download that and see. I can't remember whether we can just control rig straight away from Mixamo or whether we have to do a load of stuff. I've only done it a couple of times. So yeah, if we were going to do Batman from here, we would maybe... I mean, the ninja's not terrible. This archer's not too bad. This guy's not too bad, but kind of missing the ears. Actually, that's not bad. That might be the closest. Yeah, that's potentially the closest. Okay, let's just drag. Let me find my downloads folder. And I'm just going to drag in. Yeah. Make some money. Huh. I think that's going to come in without a skeleton, and I don't know if that's going to enable us to do what we want to do. I think not. Oh no, that's coming with a skeleton. Okay. Okay. That's cool. So let's add a level sequence. Folder. Oh no. Oh my god. What am I doing? Sequences. I call it Batman 1. Try and keep organized. Let's go 24 FPS. And then we can go. Let's try and chuck. Yeah. I can't see any reason why that would be a bad idea. Right? Okay. If I go animate, if I went control rig. Maybe? I don't know. Whoopsie. No. So let's just go. Just want to spin. Oi, oi, oi. Let's just spin you around. And also, actually wanted to be smaller than that. So I think we went 0.8 on the original character. So let's try that again. Okay, so it's an FK control rig, which is forward kinematic. Now, I don't really know what that means. If I'm honest, I don't really know what that means. Basically, feels like it's not doing what I was kind of expecting it to do, which is like you move the foot and the whole leg moves. I think that's what an IK is. Oh no, see, that's moving just the knee though. Okay. I mean, this is another one of those things where I'm like, I don't really know why I'm worrying about this, but you know, it's a learning experience. So, right. Okay. So yeah, it's posable then. It's possible to pose her to do what I want. So let's go and see what the pose is that we want. So we want right hand down by a side, straight down. Left hand is in this little kind of V shape, and head is turning left with left foot taking a step forward. I think she's about to walk away from Batman, basically. So she's looking at him as she's walking away. So I think let's get rid of. I'm just gonna. I'm actually just gonna send Quinn up. So I'm gonna plus 1,000 because then I can just, if I want to bring her back for some reason, I can just go negative 1,000. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Right. Anim outliner, FK control rig. Where is the gizmo? So hips the root. So if I move from hips, yeah. So hips is the root. So if I want to move all of her, basically, you move the hips, which makes sense, I guess. I'm absolutely sure there's a better way of doing this, by the way. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, positive. I'm not doing this, like, the right way, but I don't know enough about animation, character animation. I'm a DP. I'm not a character animator. So I am purely guessing. So 0.8 was too much to shrink her by. Let's try 0.9. That's better. That's a lot better. Okay, cool. So it's kind of annoying. What's that? What is that? That's the level sequence. Okay, let's send that up. That's annoying and in the way, so we'll get rid of that. Let's see if I can. Oh no, that's terrible. This is generally my experience with with animation. I'm sure it's everyone's experience with animation at the beginning, but I just feel like an idiot, you know? Okay. Do you know what? I'm quite happy how quick this is starting to look like something that resembles the original thing. So head 2, top end. Okay. So that's not doing anything. Let's try head 2. And what happened to head 1? Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. So that's not bad. Do you know what? I'm kind of a fan of this. This is working for me. This is not terrible. Okay, so this arm could be even more down by a side, I think. Oh, we don't want to kind of totally screw up. So let's maybe go... Why? Oh, because I've pressed G, haven't I? That's why. It's like, why am I not seeing anything? Because I pressed G. Which is like the I don't want to see anything button. I mean... Oh, God. I think I need to turn off snapping. I think that would be a really good idea. Yeah. Somebody who understands animating could explain this to me, but like I feel like moving joints never works. You have to like rotate from the joint above to move something. You can't just like move the elbow. You have to like rotate the shoulder to get the elbow where you want it, which like makes sense if you think about it sort of biologically. That is kind of how we do it in real life. It's just always slightly confused me that that's how we have to do it in 3D. But yeah. So like I want to move the position of the feet, but I have to like rotate them from the hips, I think. think that's like basically the idea. Right. Let's have a look at this. So it's kind of goose stepping. I'm sorry. Very sorry, Catwoman, and all who care for you. Okay. Oh man. Doing animation when you don't know how to do animation is pretty. It's pretty crazy. Okay. We're getting kind of somewhere closer though, and it's been fun. We've had a good time. That's what counts, eh? Still feel like this whole situation, this arm's like, I don't know. Oh my god. Oh wow. Oh wow, that's cool, huh? So she does kind of move like all of her moves in one go. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm not confident enough with animation-y stuff to like really like make it match exactly. I am going to go in and just rotate because I think she wants to be a little bit more round like that, and then I think we want to take her head and just go back round so we get that silhouette we wanted, which is nice. Okay, I mean, it's kind of close, huh? Like, silhouette-wise, it's pretty good. Could probably just lift this leg. I quite like the oh, that's not it. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. And then also I think this wants to come back a bit. Yeah. It looks a little bit like she's doing a kind of a tap dance type thing right now. But I mean that's close, right? That's not too bad. Okay. So a couple of things we could do for Batman. We could do we could grab we could grab a Batman model and then try and figure out how to pose it correctly. We could also just like add a cape and ears to the mannequin, which I kind of know how to do, although the cape would be a bit challenging. Let's have another look for free Batman 3D model. Because I feel like there is a lot out there. It's just let's see if I can get riggable Unreal. Okay. Wow, this is wow. Interesting. Yeah. It seems unsafe. I'm gonna go back. Cool. That doesn't seem good, that website. What the hell is going on? How is that Batman? How is that in any way related to Batman? Oy, oy, oy. Okay, that's some bats. That's cool, but no Batman. I'm thinking maybe that's some sort of IP thing. That TurboSquid doesn't have it. Okay. Oh man, this is that website again. Man. Oh, excuse me. Low poly Batman. I mean, maybe. Maybe. I'm like quite surprised there's not more free Batman models around, to be honest. Yeah. Well, that's back. This was, yes, we did look at this before. Okay. I mean, there's some nice looking models, but I don't really want to pay anything for just something I'm chucking on Instagram, really. It seems a little silly. And I quite like just sort of figuring it out with free assets, you know? It's kind of a challenge. Tricky. Tricky. That's a good Batman. That's a really good Batman. Can I get that to work in Unreal? Rigged. Or even not rigged, to be honest. I'll go with anything. Let's have a look. Looks really cool. Okay. Nitwit friends, thank you so much for your Batman model. I hope it works. This is going to be cool. Sorry, I was took on the screen because I was logging into Epic Games account to download it off of Sketchfab. Oh, we got animations as well. Cool. Okay, great. That's really exciting. Okay, so let's create a new folder and tidy this up. Catwoman. Let's follow that in there. Oh, you're kidding me. No, there we go. Whew. So I'm going to add a key on the control rig at that point. So I'm hoping we won't lose that now. I don't know. I'm never quite sure how some of this stuff works. So let's add a new folder. I'm going to call it Batman 1 because you never know. We might end up with more than one. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Well, so far, we've got a skeleton, which is good. So let's throw him in and see what happens. Is he very tiny? Is he extremely tiny? Amazing. I love it when stuff's tiny. That was so funny. He was like a tiny little Batman guy. That's so good. How cute. Tiny Batman. I think potentially his face stuff is fucked up. Which would be a shame. Because it's a really cool model. It might be fixable. I need to have a go and have a look. Oh, it's a shame that's just coming up as white. In fact, kind of think maybe none of his materials have come in properly. Let's just move him out into the sunshine over here. We'll have a look. Assess the situation. Wow, that is just floating in midair. Okay. We can fix that as well. Okay. So what is going on? All of the materials look like they're okay. And once again, we're sort of in a position where I don't really know what I'm doing with this stuff. And so fixing it is like quite hard. One thing I would say I've tried in the past with this sort of thing that sometimes works is you just close the thing and open it again, and it just kind of fixes itself. Oh, interesting. Why is that? Ah, because he's tiny. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So like zooming in, is crazy because he's tiny. Ooh. So we're in like tiny little miniature Batman world, which is fun. Oh man, I've lost him. Okay. So if I do re-import base mesh. No. Okay. This is what I mean about having Batman 1, right? So let's I'm gonna delete everything. Yeah. I should have done that. I'm gonna drag it in again from the start. And I think, yeah, so we can import uniform scale up to 100, which I think will bring him in at a normal size, and then various other things might work better. So let's try that. Cool. So he's okay, and that kind of looks like, yes, there we go. So I think that was just the scaling. So the materials, like the UVs, were kind of scaling all fucked up. So just by importing him at the right scale, that's fixed a lot of that, which is awesome. So let's call him Batman instead of static. And we want to call him, oh, I'm sorry. Oh my god, I hate it when Windows does this. Just go back to full screen, thank you. Oh my god. Okay, where are you? There we go. So he wants to be SK, doesn't he? It's a skeletal mesh SKM. Yeah. Great. So we've got a Batman. So let's go and bob him in our scene. We're definitely making some progress. It's good. It's good. Let's throw in Batman. There he goes. Okay, he's a little bit taller than Manny, so we might just need to scale him a tiny little bit. Okay. Okay. But yeah, it's like pretty good. Actually, it might be 0.9 even. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So I think we can send Manny up to the sky. Thank you for your service, sir. Great standing in. It's a very good stand in. Let's turn this guy around. Oh, yeah. Great. Look at this. Wonderful. So, let's see it versus our reference. Let me pop that there. Okay. So, I don't think we're going to have the cape. I just don't think I can be bothered. But what we should be able to do is, if we go to our sequencer again, I'm going to add him in. SKM Batman, and then I'm going to add a control rig. Asset based control rig, yeah. FK control rig. So I guess, I don't know. I don't really understand this stuff, but I think this forward kinematic control rig, you can basically like add to anything. Whereas, oh no. Whereas, I think to have like the IK inverse kinematic, which is where you can like grab his hand and it will like move into position and stuff. I think you have to set that up and like rig it. Whereas I think because it's like importing this model, it seems to be able to do the forward kinematic just based on like there being a skeleton. Whereas I think you probably have to give like bone weights or something to do the inverse kinematic. I don't totally know, but that's like how you get. You can do that with the mannequin. You can do that with. Have I done it with Mixamo? I've definitely done it with MetaHumans. I don't know if I've done it with Mixamo assets before, but maybe. Anyway, so where is he in comparison to Catwoman? Where should he be? That is about right. And then we want to go in and find. Let's go to our anim outliner. And what I want to do. Oh, that's her. That's not. I actually don't know how to. Okay, is that then going to come from the anim outliner? Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I want this kind of like slightly head down vibe. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, enjoying that. That's great. And then I think this is right. I mean, probably both hands, but the right now I'm going to deal with right. Okay, right shoulder. Yeah. Okay. I mean, we're like close. We don't need to do like a ton more. Let's just do a little bit with the legs. So right, I want like right up leg. Yeah, that's good. Bit of right up leg. Nice one. Nice one, Batman. And there we go. That's what I want. See my little control points. Not that I seem to be able to really select them in any kind of rational way. Okay, that's pretty good. I would go with that. I'm fine with that. Let's just have a very quick look in here and see whether there's like any simple cloth sim thing. Oh man, I'm gonna regret this. Gonna regret this. This is gonna be a whole freaking rabbit hole. Could I just do it with a couple of planes? Yeah, probably. This is where like just not really knowing. I know enough to be dangerous in Unreal Engine. That's definitely the way I would put it. I know just enough to be dangerous. Just had an idea for this thing. That's a lot better, isn't it? If we span that. Bit like that. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? That's cool. That looks quite good. It's kind of, close to the original, which is great. Okay, cool. Like that. And still think that sky is like way too bright, isn't it? But I'd love to get a little bit of that edge light on there. But again, maybe let's have a look at the material. Because I kind of wonder if it just wants to be a little touch more reflective, and that would help. So if I put max roughness down, if I go a long way down, that's probably gonna look shit, isn't it? Oh, do you know what? Doesn't look totally shit. Interesting. It kind of should though. So that worries me a bit. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Maybe it's just my monitor. I mean, I've kind of got lights in my face. I'm gonna move those out of the way a little bit so I can see it a bit better. Yeah, I don't know. I like the edge light on him, like that, just that little bit, like just here, and we're kind of getting that, which is really nice. So maybe I don't mind that we haven't got that edge light on this here, and I could always add a light to do that. Obviously, I just don't think they did on the day. But maybe let's try that. Let's see, because that's an interesting experiment to see whether they maybe did have something there. So let's try a rect light. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Kind of does look like that might be what they did. So this wants to be, let's go use temperature. We'll go like 3200. Yeah. And then I want very serious barn doors. Very serious barn doors. Because all I want to get is that column. Yeah, I don't really want to get anything else. So let's see what that looks like. Still too much, isn't it? Let's just bring that. I'm going to take that down to like 4. Just pan it even more right, I think. Yeah. It's still kind of spinning onto her though, isn't it? Okay. Where is it right now? I'm so surprised that that's doing anything on her because I shouldn't be touching them. That's interesting. Huh. Make it a bit smaller. Try something like that. Yeah. It's weird. I don't know why that's hitting her at all. Just checking the post-process volume. So I've got 0 compensation. I've got physical camera. And I've got what I would expect in terms of the camera stuff. At 2.8. Basically, that's at 8 candelas, which is like very little light. And I'd actually just expect not to be seeing it on camera. How many lumens is that? It's 12 lumens. I don't understand why I'm seeing that on camera. Weird. What I'm wondering is whether there's like a post-process volume inside Ultradynamic Sky that's overriding the exposure. What's that mean? Yeah. Yeah, I thought so. Okay. That's not really what I want. Okay. Okay. So that's interesting. I guess okay. I guess we have to balance that then. So that's an interesting kind of I mean, I think I could go through and like fix it, but I don't really. I did that earlier on with Ultradynamic Sky. I was playing around with some stuff, and I think I did turn off the auto exposure, and it I couldn't get it back to looking like this in terms of the sky with auto exposure off. So I don't really want to go down that road because I think it'll take quite some time. So what I'm going to do instead is just maybe let's go instead of a rect light. Let's delete that. Let's put a spotlight in, and we can just. We can have a soft source size, but just have maybe a little bit more control over the beam. It just feels like I don't have a ton of control with that Rex light, unfortunately. So let's really tighten that beam up. We can have a larger source radius. Ooh, not that large. We can increase the attenuation radius. And then let's just see what that looks like in the camera. Yeah, that seems better in terms of, I don't think that's now hitting her, but it is giving us that nice edge light. Great. So I want to tip that up a little bit and get it off that floor. We could actually just bring that down. So that's cool. And that kind of makes sense because, like, in the real world, probably I might, if it was me and I was just trying to get that little bit of light there, I don't know, I'd maybe use like either a SkyPanel S30 or probably like a hard light, like something like a ARRI L5 or some sort of tungsten, like a Source 4 or something. So so that's kind of cool. So we've ended up with a spotlight there, which is kind of exactly what we would probably use in the real world. So that has given us, that's really good actually. That's given us both those little pieces of light there. So maybe that is how they did it. Maybe that is how they did it on set. Okay, that's cool. So what else do we want to do here? So I feel like, I mean, these reflections are a little bit desaturated compared to these, but it's like, it's not horrendous. It's kind of close-ish. I don't mind that floor right now. We could add more texture and we could kind of add some more shape to it and stuff, and that would be nice, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's worth the time spent. What I want to do now, I think, is just sort out this background, this cityscape, and that is going to be a bit tricky, or it's going to take a bit of time. Let me just check. So there was like a sort of cool... There was a cool kind of Star Wars pack that... that was part of a course that I was on, that I was having a look at recently. And I started to download it. I don't think I finished it because I think it was massive. But it had some cool, like, aerials and stuff in it. It was like a Star Wars thing. Like a kind of Andor sort of vibe. I think that's the one I'm thinking of. But I don't think it's here. What's that? UE5 landscape. So yeah, we want to basically. So what I've got is I've got some buildings. So I downloaded the City Sample Buildings pack. So that's all here. Oh wow, is there that many buildings? That's a lot of buildings. Okay, so actually I want to go into, let's go into here and then just hit static mesh. We can actually just see what all the static meshes are. Yeah, cool. I wonder if the buildings are actually blueprints. Oh man, don't tell me that. Yeah, I think they're going to be blueprints. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so that's actually cool. That helps us a lot. Because we can kind of throw in some of these, duplicate them, play around with them. I'm assuming we can adjust whether the lights are on or not. Let's just throw one in and see. Because I want some lights, but I don't want all the lights on. Oh, interesting. Okay. Virtual textures and various things need to be on. That's cool. Yeah, I feel like this is quite a chunky piece of chunky stuff. So I'm going to let that, it's going to want to restart in a sec. So I'm going to, I'm going to let it finish preparing the static meshes and then I'll restart. I might possibly be supposed to do it the other way around. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's cool. So yeah, so that's kind of, I feel like I'm pretty happy with everything else now. I think we just need to get this cityscape going. And I reckon we can basically chuck in the city sample buildings fill it out with that. I'm hoping there's something with those so that you can make them like super low low quality versions of them. Like I'm hoping they're lodded. I'm assuming they are because they're going to be like super mushy in the background. I want to do a little bit of work to try and find something that's going to match this a little bit, and the rest will just kind of match the shapes a little bit. Get something down here with lights, and then that's kind of most of it really. And then I think what I will do right at the end is pop it into. We'll export from Unreal and we'll pop it into Resolve, and we'll just kind of give it a color grade and maybe try and do a bit of the focus, the defocus sort of stuff in Resolve, because you can see here like this left hand edge is so, both the sides are so defocused even though they're kind of in a similar focal plane. It's really just this center section here, and that's the case like all the way through that movie. It's like it's got those alpha lenses are pretty amazing for how much they are sharp in the center and soft at the edges. They're not vintage optics. They're based on Master Anamorphics, I believe. They've just tuned them so that the center's sharp and the outside's really super blurry. Which is kind of how, like, I mean, Cooke, their lenses, their spherical lenses and anamorphic lenses do this, but to a lesser extent, I would say. I'm sure you could tweak the Cookes to make them look more like this. But yeah, it's a cool way of really focusing the eye in on the center of the frame. So I'm just going to try and restart this now and see whether that hates me, which it might do, because it was preparing static meshes. I don't know, maybe it's going to crash. We'll see. Oh, 20 people have watched at some point. That's cool. Yeah, not really doing this for people. Like, I'm just doing it so that I don't get distracted and go and kind of do an hour of watching tutorials on some random thing in Unreal, and also so that I get a little bit of practice in talking while using Unreal, because I'm producing this course at the moment, Final Pixel Academy, Unreal for DOPs. I think the link is in the description. And also maybe I want to come and watch this back later, or other people will, or whatever. It's kind of useful. And I think this is a good process. I think this is kind of a fun way of learning Unreal Engine. Yeah, and I've done a few of these, but not streamed them. I've only just started doing that with this one. I love Apocalypse Fat Man. What a cool name. Right, I think Unreal is going to take ages to compile shaders. So I think I might end the stream, at least for now. I'm going to go and make some food, and then I'll either restart it later or we'll finish this off tomorrow. Yeah, pretty tired. Sorry for the yawning. Cool. If you had a little watch or you're watching it back, cheers. I hope it was interesting. I'm sure most of it wasn't. And